on the merger, the Wall Street Journal editorial board said this is more than just a private deal. It's really about MBS sort of thumbing his nose at the president. They point out that the Saudis entered a China brokered deal with Iran. They are cozying up to Maduro, cut oil production ahead of Blinken's visit, helping Russia, driving up prices, hurting Biden. And they write, is Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman trolling President Biden? Call it the revenge of the pariah.
This is Fox News reporter Jackie Heinrich.
I can't comment to or lay out what the thinking of the Saudi Arabia official or government are. As it relates to this merger, we're just not going to comment on this deal. It is two private entities, and we're just not going to comment.
And White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
It's making the president look weak if there's no comment. When you have Democratic senators saying that the president's Justice Department should be looking at this with respect to antitrust questions, foreign registration questions, doesn't no comment fall short?
First of all, the president does not look weak. This is a president, because of his leadership, has brought together our allies and partners again, which certainly was our foreign policy relationship with heads of states was gutted and destroyed by the last administration. And this is the president that has been able to strengthen NATO alliance again because of his leadership, has been able to bring more than 50 countries together to help support Ukraine as they're battling the aggression from Russia. And that is occurring because of this president's leadership. And so I think that is important. And because we're saying that we're not going to speak to a private merger, a company's merger, a private entity, does not make the president weak.
He was briefed on it though, right?
It does not make the president, of course he's going to be briefed on it. He's the president of the United States.
As for the president's comment on the LIV Golf PGA Tour deal,
I plan on being a PGA.
what has been eye-opening to me is the continued no comment from the Biden administration.
Does the Biden administration have any concern with a major U.S. sports league getting into business with the Saudi Public Investment Fund?
I think we'll let the Saudi government speak to that.
However, those who have commented are some on the left, including Senator Richard Blumenthal, who would write, the PGA sellout. Its monopolistic merger with LIV clearly merits DOJ scrutiny. A reported antitrust investigation already underway has higher stakes now, along with possibly new issues. In an interview with the Huffington Post, Blumenthal would say the following: if Ford and GM were to combine in this way, there'd be a DOJ investigation. Conceivably, the Department of Justice could block it. He also said there are a variety of steps they could take short of blocking it, like requiring certain conditions, but I think an investigation is certainly well-merited. Catherine Van Dyke, seen here, is senior legal counsel at the American Economic Liberties Project. She also spoke on it. This is a pretty straightforward antitrust violation. To the extent Congress intervenes, I think it should be to investigate the harms that could result from this. The deal is one of the most brazen mergers to monopoly in recent history. PGA admits it aims to unify the game of golf on a global basis. Its commissioner, Jay Monahan, says the deal takes the competitor off the board, and Bloomberg is reporting that no antitrust lawyers were involved in the deal. These are huge red flags, Van Dyke would say. Unless Congress grants this new venture some sort of antitrust exemption, there is no way this deal would survive the legal scrutiny. Antitrust enforcers in the U.S., Europe, and the UK have a clear path to blocking it. As Politico notes, there was previously another humongous merger in the world of sports. Congress seems reluctant to touch the mega deal, yet it's a stark contrast with its response to the merger between the National Football League and American Football League back in 1966. At that time, lawmakers passed an exemption to antitrust rules allowing the deal to proceed. Of course, the domestic AFL lacked the political baggage that Riyadh, Saudi Arabia brings to the table, particularly after the Biden administration concluded that the Saudi Crown Prince approved the operation that led to the 2018 killing of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Yet the PGA Tour that enjoys tax-exempt status could be in for a rude awakening. What do I mean by this? John Garamendi of California proposed the No Corporate Tax Exemption for Professional Sports Act. In effect, the legislation would end the tax loophole that PGA Tour and other pro sports leagues exploit to avoid paying any federal corporate income tax. These pro sports leagues each generate more than $100 million annually in corporate income, which would be taxable under the Garamendi bill. In short, Congress has granted limited antitrust exemptions to the big four American pro sports leagues, the NFL, NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball. Is it going to happen? No. Absolutely not. No, this would never, ever happen. I'm all for it. But considering the powers that they have, considering the lobbying that they do, and how many of the antics that some politicians, whether on the left or right, will put forth to distract you from this, it will never, ever happen, though I do support it.